Signature TV, news in your pocket.
Well, the Labour Party presidential candidate for the past general elections, Peter Obi, has come out to reiterate his support and renew his call for a 5-year single tenure for presidency. According to him, he says that this model will ensure that the presidency focuses on government rather than re-election strategies. In related news, also, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has received 122 applications from groups seeking political party status. They have also come under fire for lack of transparency and delay in the application process. Well, joining us this morning to talk about single-term presidency and INEC registration of new political parties is His Royal Highness Igwe Chinedu Nwobodo, the traditional ruler Ugwaji community, Enugu. Good morning, Your Royal Highness. Thank you for joining us again on New Day.
Good morning, my sister. Good morning, viewers. Okay,
so you've heard it, single-term presidency. What exactly are your thoughts on this? You think this is the way forward for, our political issues in Nigeria?
Thank you for inviting me to hear from me about the term in office.
Yes.
Talking to you from the depth of my heart, that does not change anything for me. Whether we have it 7-year ad infinitum tenure, it matters little to me. Whether we have it 5 years single tenure, it means nothing to me. The problem we have in this system, and that is why I have accepted to come and talk here, is to in my views that the number of years to me matters little. What matters is the collapse of our value. I heard Peter Obi when he spoke, he said that he's advocating a 5-year single term so that anybody who gets into office will readily know that he has come to work. But even 4-year, 2-term maximum we have in Nigeria, anybody who wins the election should know that he has come to work. My major worry is people not taking responsibilities for what they have done wrong. People not being praised for what they have done right. Of a truth, for the collapse of our value system, any upright person who is doing it right, who may not become super rich after his tenure, is the stupid man. And he who steals and steals big is the man.
Is most celebrated.
Is most celebrated. So that is our problem, not the number of years in office. Are you telling me that if somebody is, what's the difference between 5-year term and 8 years term? What's the difference?
3 years.
In our understanding of what we have come to do. Anybody, let us say it is now 8 years, the way it is in Nigeria, because sometimes when people win, you must win a second time. Shouldn't they have known that they have come to work? But will it be 5 years that will make you understand that you've come to work? The issue is this: if you are there for 8 years and you didn't work, you didn't do well, you have committed offenses that require prosecution, you should be prosecuted. People should begin to take responsibilities for inactions. People should begin to get commendation for positive actions, not the number of years. I'm seeing it as another gimmick. They are the same.
Well, I hear you. I hear you. There's a complete breakdown of our value systems.
But that is the problem.
But for you to get us back on track, for Nigeria to get back on track, it seems as though it's a long-term, strategy to get people to focus, on the values and begin to imbibe these values. It's a long-term strategy. So I'm looking at it as this is a short-term strategy proposed by Peter Obi to compel people to do the right thing while we are waiting for attitudinal, changes, while we wait on families to build values back from scratch again. What are your thoughts?
Let me tell you, there is no long-term about this, there is no short-term about this. That you change from 8 years maximum to 5 years maximum does not change the thing. What changes it is our attitude and the obedience to law, the rule of law.
But attitudinal change does not happen overnight.
It can happen. It can become.
But you can compel people to do the right thing.
That is it. Let me tell you this. I keep telling people, read this book called Why Nations Fail, written by Professors Asemogolo and Robinson. And the other one is the book written by Le Quayon.
Singapore Lee Kuan Yew.
Yeah, Singapore Lee Kuan Yew, from third to first world. He changed the certain things instantaneously. Let me take example from Heda's famous menace in the country.
Yes.
While in Singapore, the Hedas mainly were the Indians in Singapore. And there was this cattle menace, the Hedas menace along the road.
Before,
yeah. And the man was sitting in his office and the lawyer was racing to his office and ran into strayed cattle on the road. So he converged his people, they came together and they were talking. He said, no, this nonsense has to stop. And they stopped. How did they stop? My friend, any cow you catch, kill it and send it to the Chesia homes. Old people's home, motherless babies home. I
think that strategy will work in Nigeria.
Yeah, and why wouldn't it work? Why? We've been over-pampering criminality. That is it. The man didn't touch the owners of the cow. He didn't send it to prison. What he did was catch the cow, kill the cow, give the meat to people who need it. By the time they killed only 53 cows, everybody knew the need to ranch.
But is Singapore a multi-ethnic constituent like Nigeria?
In fact, as multi as Nigeria. Let me also tell you another story that was told there. There was a crisis between the Malays and the Chinese Singaporeans. It became a
Was
clash.
it before Malaysia left Singapore? Because they were a single nation.
They were a single nation, but then Singapore had left. I'm telling you, when Lee Kuan Yew became the president, you know, there was this ethnic misunderstanding that led to crisis between the Malays and the
Chinese.
Malay Singaporeans and the Chinese Singaporeans. Lee Kuan Yew himself was a Chinese Singaporean. So, but after investigation, the person who was found guilty was a Chinese Singaporean, and he went to prison. Before that investigation and the process of law could take its course, people were fearing. Since these people are Chinese and the president was Chinese, he wasn't going to do anything. But my sister, he did something. And every other ethnic group understood that if he could punish his own, I should have to get back to my house and then rethink. You make people take responsibilities for what they have done. It's not about ethnicity, it's not about where the person is coming from. But if in Nigeria, our major problem is that they will tell you, I know that this person is a criminal.
But he's my brother.
He is my own criminal, lives in there. He didn't do it. And Singapore worked. Let me also give you another example from that book. A minister, a close friend to Lee Kuan Yew, committed crime, corruption. And the man was investigated, found guilty. He sent emissaries to Lee Kuan Yew. That book is there. Our people, our politicians, including people like us, should read that book, Why Nations Fail. All the indices of a failed nation. I'm not saying our Nigeria has failed, but when you look at indices for determining a failed nation, we are not too far from failing. But let me stop that one there. But look at what happened to his minister. When the minister was found guilty, he sent emissaries to Lee Kuan Yew. Lee Kuan Yew said no. let the law take its full course. That is the only way we can change the system. The man went home, committed suicide. Lee Kuan Yew immediately came to the family on condolence. After that, the wife, knowing the relationship between the two, he approached Lee Kuan Yew so that the charges could be dropped since the man had died. But even in death, Lee Kuan Yew said that the law has to take its full course. And the system worked. According to Professor Robinson and the Semegulu, what they are doing here, they do it on purpose. So I'm beginning to see another thing to divert our attention so that we could start discussing ephemeral things. The number of years that you will be in office. Let me tell you, any serious person can make a change within 2 years.
In Nigeria?
Yes.
In our polity, the way
yes, it's about showing the people the way that you are out to do business. How many percent? Let me tell you, in Nigeria, if you want to stay still big, so that you become a big boy.
And become above the law.
Yes. What is it? Let me tell you, there are people who run a political party system. There are people bigger than their political parties.
True.
You won't be touched. And nobody is even sure of a legitimate means of making the money you are using to abuse people in your political party. We have strong men and not strong institutions.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
what you're saying is, because we
need stronger institutions than strong men.
How do we make strong institutions?
Yes, making the rules apply. Do
you think this is a constitutional issue, this single-term presidency? Although you say it is not, it's just a shadow, it's not the main thing. But do you think if it's enshrined in the Constitution and some changes made in the Constitution, then people can be made to answer for their misdoings?
Yeah. I'm a media person, of course, you know.
Yeah.
And one good thing about our profession is that we do our best to know enough about some other professions to be able to cover them. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure that the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that I have in my house, which I know you as a media person, you have it, has enough provisions that can make our system work.
But so many people are calling for, of course,
the
Constitution.
No, personally too, I call for a total overhaul of our constitutional provision. But still, if we apply these ones on ground, then we can go and we can be better than where we are. Let me tell you this. Whose responsibility is it to checkmate the executive? Isn't it the National Assembly?
No, the legislature.
But the National Assembly
is a rubber stamp.
I wouldn't use the word rubber stamp, but I see them to be abdicating their responsibilities. I was in public service. I retired from public service. When they do oversight, what do they see? Anybody found guilty and he greases certain pockets, nobody takes responsibility. That is the problem. Don't we have enough laws in Nigeria about who steals? Let me come again. In 2023 election, somebody assured us by the electoral guideline that results will be transmitted
in real time.
And then midway, the same people began to tell us that transmitted results.
That there were glitches.
There were glitches. And this is the person who told us, anywhere you had glitches, the results would not be announced. and you come back to do the right thing. Did it happen? And nobody has taken responsibility. It's not about provisions in the book. It's about making those provisions work.
But look at South Korea. I'm talking about South Korea now. I think they run a presidency of one tenure for 5 years.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's instrumental to the development we see in Korea
Okay,
today?
let me tell you. If you get to Korea and it's just about 5 year time without applying the laws, it won't work. In China, if you commit corruption, you have a punishment. No matter who you are, you undergo through that punishment. And everybody's hand is on the deck. It's about building strong men. Once you become strong in Nigeria, nothing happens. Let me share one ugly experience with you. When I was active in service, we went for our professional conference. And the professional conference discussion, you know, that was not why we were there. But before we started talking, we were conversing on our own. Are you aware that you become a big boy now, counting on the number of times you have visited EFCC? If you have not visited
it's not an indicator.
Yes, it's not an indicator of a big boy. We convert every negative thing to become things we celebrated. Somebody will commit crime today, he is sentenced, he is given presidential pardon the next moment. How can a nation work like that? And we are here talking about the term in office. It's about while in office, what you didn't do well, were you made to take responsibility?
So
what you have done well, are you celebrated? Let me tell you one thing. When I was active in service, sorry, I hate saying it because when you begin to say it, you sound to be
inactive.
No, you sound to be self-praising.
Okay.
But one thing happened. I'm sure people who know what I'm saying, they are now watching, they are listening. When I was there, I looked at the issues on ground and I instituted a cooperative system that was working. Everybody who was working in my institution was happy. You needed house equipment, you come there, you pick it and pay instrumentally. One thing happened. I retired from a hospital system. They are listening to what I'm saying. Our least paid, the hospital orderlies, the lowly paid, the messengers. When I started, you could see a messenger, hospital orderly, walk into our cooperative shop, pick 2 bags of rice, 2 bags at 7,000. That was 3,500 then. And you pay 7,000 naira for on 12 installmental payments. You wouldn't know. A woman came to my office and gave me 20 naira with a note. I valued that note. That as an orderly who was at every Christmas, he would be in line waiting for people that could give her 20 cups of rice for Christmas. He's the same person who picked 3 bags of rice at 10,500 naira and now was distributing rice. The same person came to our cooperative shop and picked Tamacool deep freezer. People began to wonder whether it was still the same orderly in the hospital. What has happened? But by the time I retired, I handed over serious money. I came back myself happy, contented. I became a foolish man who didn't embezzle public funds. You see, we celebrate criminality these days. But God has rewarded. Probably that is the reason I am where I am today. If we want to change our system, it's not about the number of years in office.
Do you think we
it's
should
about
legislate
willingness.
some of these things? Do you think
We have enough
the issues that we outsource to the churches in terms of imbibing values and teaching values? I think it should be enshrined in our legislation. For example, if you beat traffic, if you obstruct or you beat your own turn in a queue and things like that, or you urinate indiscriminately, you remember the war against indiscipline. You think these things should be enshrined in our legislation to compel people to do
But
the
of
right
course,
thing?
we have enough legislation against all those things. Open defecation, this and that. We have the laws.
Nobody implements it.
No
What's
one
the way
implements
forward?
it. Implementation, the political will to implement. The unfortunate is that so many political hangers-on will commit that offense. And because they had worked for the man in charge, there will be no political will to punish that person. But I've given you an example of Singapore, where they were serious and they wanted to succeed and they succeeded.
Are we in a hopeless situation?
Well, I personally, by my nature, I have never been hopeless, no matter the situation around me. That is one thing with me. The only thing I do in my life is I analyze every situation around me. And when I analyze the situation around me, I worry less about anything. Those things I can change, and I have the wherewithal to change them. And that is the life of a nation, the way it is in individual. Anything I can change about my life, I just stand up, make that change.
Sure.
Those things I cannot change, things that are supernatural, things that I have nothing to do, I can't.
Beyond your control.
I can't. So I've always been hopeful that when the appointed time comes, the right thing has to be done. It's about the will of our political leaders to understand that nobody becomes better than the society.
Bigger than
the society. You can't be bigger than the nation. If we have laws, implement those laws, no matter who is involved. Once we begin to implement the laws,
All right, Igwe.
we'll make a headway.
Let's talk about INEC. 122 new, fresh applications from groups that want to be registered as political parties. What's your view? 122 parties.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? I mean, I wouldn't say it's laughable, but it's
Let
funny.
me tell you, it's amusing.
It is actually.
It is,
122 and counting.
I'm just being entertained. I'm just being entertained. Let me tell you this. Do we even have more than one political party? That's the question. Just like I have always told people that we have just one bank in Nigeria today.
Just one bank.
One bank in Nigeria. One bank. Every other thing is a name. Once you have your ATM, you can pick your money in Union Bank from First Bank. Once you have your ATM, you can pick your money from FCMB when that money is in Standard Bank or any bank at all. You don't have to move to your branch. A time was when you had to pick money from just your branch.
Yeah, you pick a tally and wait in line.
And wait in line. If you are in Union Bank or Wete, you must have to go to Wete. A time came when you could pick your money from any Union Bank anywhere.
Yes.
A time came when your money in Union Bank, you could pick it from First Bank.
Sure.
So we have one bank in Nigeria today.
Makes sense.
That is what we have. That is what we have in our political system. There is no ideological political parties. If it is about ideology, why 121 political parties?
So I think it's
This thing is
122 different ideologies.
Yeah. what we are now doing is like when you want to pick money from Union Bank and you have Union Bank ATM, you get there, the line is too long for your patience. Mm-hmm. You find another bank where the line is shorter.
And transact.
And transact your business and move on. That is what is happening. So 120 political parties standing online to be registered to do what? It's only because I have seen I can't get it from ADC, I can't get it from PDP, I can't get it from Labour Party, I can't get it from...
And when you say get it, you mean I can't...
Your position of interest. Everybody wants to be a leader. At the same time, it's not possible. If we have ideological political parties where this person is a far left or on the far right, or that person is a conservative, and the person is at the midpoint, you know, far right, far left, middle course.
You must find a place.
You must find a place. But the issue is that everything in our society has become business. Almost everything has become business. And people are now looking at political positions as